Oh hey guys, it's just a super quick, fairly random video I thought I'd put together. So, when I was a kid, one of my favourite programs to kind of grow up with was actually Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I was sort of born in, well, 1988, so I was basically born same time The Next Generation came out. I believe it started in 1987, but one of the things I was always interested in was the holodeck. And what I really liked about the holodeck was the fact that you could describe to the computer basically what you wanted, and the computer could then generate exactly what you wanted based on your description. And obviously, at the time, this was pure science fiction, that we would actually have machines that could take a sentence or a few sentences and actually build like a complicated computer program just based on those sentences. But here we are. Today I'm going to be looking very briefly at how you can create a computer game very simply, just with a few commands in ChatGPT or Claude. And I have to say, I'm a big fan of Claude. I think it's generally the superior chat AI, and I'm on the free version of it, which I think is significantly more powerful. I've not compared ChatGPT 4 with Claude, but I personally absolutely adore Claude. So yeah, if you want to go for Claude, I would highly recommend that for games. So the first thing I did was I put in this prompt. Hello, can we create something new and fun? An HTML page which has randomly generated background consisting of white, black and red squares, about 1,000 by 1,000 per page, symmetrical, make it fun and creative, and add in lots of interesting and crazy and original code. Okay, so that's the prompt. This is what ChatGPT gave me, and that's as far as it went. And okay, spoiler, this is what it generated based on that prompt. So as you guys can see, it basically did what I want. It didn't include the symmetry, but yeah, it went pretty well, I think. It certainly kind of does what you want, and obviously this is in HTML, so this will run on any computer, which is pretty good. I gave a pretty identical prompt to Claude, and it produced something a bit more interesting, which, okay, like I should probably say, like, I know it's a bit flashy and stuff, but nevertheless, this is kind of cool. And you can also save the image, and if you load up the image, for example, it does actually create a sort of symmetrical image, which is, you know, pretty freaking cool, actually. And it generates these, you know, obviously very rapidly. So I'm going to get rid of that because it kind of is a bit distracting. Anyway, out of the two responses that I got from these two chatbots, I actually think I preferred ChatGPT's version. So what I did is, obviously Claude is the more powerful of the two. I actually created another prompt. Let me have a little look. Here we go. I love the code. However, ChatGPT's code was good too. I can maybe modify ChatGPT's code and turn it into a game. We may need to change all the code. So the rules are written. So the rules are, when a square is clicked, every square of the same color connected to that square, vertically or horizontally of the same color, will switch color and cycle between red, white and black, repeating until every square on the same table is that color. When all the squares are the same color, this is a win state. So here we go. I'm basically describing a game. I'm describing what kind of behavior I want the machine to basically do. I'm describing what the win state should be. I've sort of included the original code, and then I've added this. To add challenge, every 1 second, 5% of the squares will randomly change color, however, won't change the surrounding squares. This will stop when we win. If this is too hard in HTML and other linked code bits, so, you know, whatever, we can use Python. Anyway, gave me a very nice response, which is this game you can see right now, which is exactly what it outputted. And this is just running on a standard HTML file, basically, so I didn't need to use Python. Python would probably be more powerful. Obviously, I can convert this into Python just by asking Claude to do it for me. So I guess this is a bit of an advert for Claude. To win is actually very easy. You would just click on one square repeatedly, and you would basically win. But nevertheless, you kind of get an entropy build up. So if I wanted to build on this program, I could basically add in different sectors, or I was kind of thinking I could set a limit to 10 squares. And if you go over 10 squares, you lose. I think that would actually be kind of interesting. Or maybe not lose, but maybe I could add in a point scoring system where you would score points over time, basically, and you would lose points if you converted too many squares at once. So in order to get a high square, you would have to click a lot of reds, for example, get them converted to whites, and then I suppose click for whites or something. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, it generated this for me. So I'm not saying this is like a proper decent computer game, but heck, it is kind of fun. It also does work. So if I were to keep clicking, eventually I do get to a win state, which you guys can see I'm kind of achieving the win state quite a lot. But there we go. The win state has been achieved. So the randomness has stopped. And okay, this is a fairly simple game. And obviously I could play again if I wanted to by refreshing. Now, I could obviously add more colors into the code, and I could do all kinds of stuff with this. I could do basically whatever I wanted. And again, I wouldn't even have to touch the code necessarily, because I could just ask Claude to make the modifications for me. And there's quite a few games which I've actually made just basically using ChatGPT and Claude. And you can actually use the two in concert. So I will say that Claude has a limited number of prompts that you can basically put in, whereas ChatGPT 3.5 is unlimited. Like I said, Claude is more powerful, but ChatGPT is more convenient, so I suppose, and better for like simplistic things. Anyway, this game is very, very simple and rudimentary, but I released a bunch of videos a while ago, which I can basically show you now. So yeah, flocking Burbs of a Feather. This is a game I made called Burbs of a Feather. Now, I'll just have to explain the rules. So food is generated, and food appears as little green blocks on the left hand and right hand, up and down areas, and it goes into the middle. And each of these burbs basically has an individual evolutionary code, basically the same color ones have the same code. So yeah, this is kind of a game where it's basically an evolution simulator. Now you may notice some orange blobs. These were meant to be vampires, but this exact version of the code doesn't really work exactly as I intended. But yeah, nevertheless, as you guys can see, this is really, really crazy, because the ultimate evolution is like burbs which will stick to the corners in this particular state. Next, we could look at this version of the game. Again, same code, except it's been slightly modified. And this has been running for a while. And again, when a burb feeds, it has a chance of either producing an identical offspring, or I think it has about a 1 in 10 chance of producing a mutant offspring, which is similar but different. So over time, you would kind of evolve towards a sort of perfect end state almost. And generally speaking, after quite a long time, you might end up with one kind of burb dominating. And lastly, I made a version of this code which was optimized for YouTube Shorts. So everything happens within 60 seconds. So we have a lot of food here, and we have a lot of different burbs which heavily mutate at the beginning of the game. So right now they're feeding and they are mutating at a very, very high rate. And about 30 seconds in, all the mutations stop basically, and the food starts to dry up basically. So food decreases over time, and as you guys can see, I think we're starting to see this now. A lot of the birds are dying of hunger, so they shrink when they get hungry and then they die. So the bigger birds have more food in them. And again, a lot of this was basically just created in ChatGPT and Claude, but mostly Claude. I think in this particular situation, all the burbs are gone now. Oh dear, that's not good. But you do get different outcomes basically. So what would usually happen with this particular simulation is you would get one kind of burb which would just dominate, but I guess all the burbs just kind of died here, so we just got some food flowing around forever now. And again, the food's not going to be eaten, so it's just going to go back to the other side of the screen and it's going to keep flying. So yeah, that's a bit of a sad ending, I suppose. So if you're interested in code, like I said, this code is mostly what Claude created. So we're using Pygame, random math, collection and whatnot. So these are being imported. We then have code for the height and the width of the screen, which again I think are optimized for YouTube Shorts. So ordinarily it'd be 800 by 600, but now we're going for 540 by 960. Perfect for YouTube Shorts, although a bigger resolution is better. So I won't go into too much detail, but here we have the genetic code of every bird, and each one of them kind of modifies the bird's behavior. So we have avoidance. So this is how they avoid other burbs, basically, and this kind of makes the burbs kind of fly around in different patterns, basically depending on, you know, which of these numbers are used. Again, there's kind of force between the burbs and the food and, you know, various items in the game. So again, all of their sort of flight behavior is kind of determined by that. I think the radius of their sight and stuff is also computed. We've also got their color, for example, and the burbs also repulse each other, so they try to stay away from each other to kind of spread out. And again, these numbers can be changed to whatever you want. We've got radius and force and max speed as well. So if I want to create some super fast birds, I could change this to like 10, for example. But I think I've changed this to 4.5 for the purposes of the YouTube short. But yeah, you can modify all those codes to create more random different kinds of burbs, for example. Be kind of interesting to put some negative numbers in here and see what the burbs do. But again, these are all things you can experiment with. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go into kind of do much detail, I guess, but each bird basically, when it's created, gets a copy of all of this, basically. So each one's kind of basically running its own code. Yeah, so we've got shrink over time, which again, when it eats food, it gets bigger, and then it kind of shrinks randomly, I believe, over time. Or actually, I think this is a linear shrinkage right here. We've got code for replication for the burb, which again has the mutation in here. So again, you can change the mutation rate, and you can also change, you know, the mutation rate based on time as well. So there's a lot going on here. I haven't looked at this code for a few days, to be honest, or a few weeks now, I suppose. But yeah, then you've kind of got the main game function. So yeah, I guess that's everything. Oh, okay. So this version of the code is obviously lagging. I think that the starvation rate is set too low on these burbs because they're you know, clearly not dying fast enough. So I guess this is what happens when you have like too much food, basically. And as you can see, the sort of vampire things are also sort of going crazy as well. And obviously, like, there's a heck of a lot of burbs here, and each one, like I said, has its own code. So I think that's kind of, yeah, I think that simulation's done. This one's going pretty good though, and again, you can really see the different behaviors in the burbs. So you've got some pinks down here, some reddy orange ones up here. You've got the brown ones which kind of fly around like crazy, and you know, like I say, they kind of move and kind of repulse each other, basically, based on the random numbers which are sort of generated for each kind of burb. But yeah, I think this one will continue to kind of mutate. Eventually, you might get down to one kind of burb. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay. Okay, I think I looked at this in a previous video, but I actually got Claude again to create a kind of chess simulator. And the thing is, this actually works. It's a little bit... Oh. So, okay, you can click and drag the pawns, for example. And if you click one of the units, it gets deleted, which is what happened just before. But you could actually play a game of chess with this. For example, you've got the knight here, so the knight can move like this, or like that. Now, none of the rules of how the things can move are actually in the game, but, you know, we all know the rules. So you could actually kind of use this as an actual, like, chess simulator, potentially. Oh no, look, the rook's going to go and it's going to take the knight. You can also drag, like, units onto other units, and they'll just literally take them like this. So, again, I didn't even code this. This was just created by Claude. But yeah, you can actually make a heck of a lot of games like this. And just to be clear, I can code. I'm actually really good at Python and other languages. But if you can do logic, basically, and you can kind of think of the game and you can logically describe the game, then, you know, basically these chat things can help you, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I suppose I didn't really use proper colors with this, but yeah, again, this is the code that it created, so, you know, fairly simplistic, but hey, it actually kind of works as a chess simulator. Not really a game here. I don't know why I made this, but I was thinking about investments and stuff. So we have in the code a loop here, and basically this will kind of iterate over and over and over again, kind of calculating interest and whatnot. And I think if we put like £1,800 in the bank, where's the rate of interest, I wonder? Annual interest rate of 0.08. So I guess that's an 8% interest rate. So yeah, we put 1,800. 1,000. Actually, I think we start with 1,000, basically. So this program doesn't run perfectly. So this is, we're getting £80 interest on our savings, and after 90 years, we get $1 million or £1 million. So again, at a 0.8% interest rate, or an 8% interest rate, whatever. Yeah, it's going to take us 90 years to get £1 million. So anyway, fun interest simulator, which I thought was pretty cool. I have no idea what these do. I should be careful. I've got some really weird files on here. Oh, okay. Probably shouldn't run this game. Okay. So I actually use a program like this, a more elaborate program, but I don't want to show you the information. Now, all of this information is publicly available, like my email and stuff, but my website. But if I click on my website, at the moment it's just copying the text into the clipboard, but in the more elaborate version of the program, I've got it so that it can open files, open websites, can copy text to the clipboard. So if I'm, for example, filling out a form, I can basically make this stay on the top and, you know, just copy my name, put it up here, for example, and yeah, I guess it saves a bunch of time filling in forms. Okay, another little thing I made. We've got googly eyes here. This is again a Python program. So, oh no, don't look at my details. Look at my details. Anyway, I was trying to design a bit of a cool interface, basically. What the heck is this? Oh yeah. So that program's really, really weird. It doesn't really work. But okay, I can't show you all the details on this, right? But so here is my program I was talking about earlier. So I can't go into additional because it's got all my personal information in there. But I've got local links in here. So again, this links to all my folders, Python, AI art files, WebM videos. Oh, there's some dodgy ones in there, etc. I've got my shutdown command. Now this is pretty cool. So if I want to shut my computer down in 1 hour, for example, I'll click on 1 hour and it will basically run a system command in Python which will shut the computer after 1 hour. So we'll click, for example, shutdown has now commenced. If I want to stop the shutdown, I click shutdown -A, and shutdown has been stopped. So that's kind of convenient because, to be honest, I always get in the situation where my computer's doing something and I want it to run for an hour or two. So yeah, if I wanted to upgrade this, I could obviously put in custom numbers and stuff, which would be kind of useful, but there we go. Okay, this program, if you can hear me, randomly generates music. Oh no, it doesn't actually randomly generate music, it just generates music based on this. But yeah, simple little thing. Oh, we've got this program here, which again generates this image, or like an image with random red and black bits on. Don't know why I made that. Oh, for some reason, I don't know why, this program seems to calculate fractals. Ah, a fractal of 100 is that. Wow. Okay. Try another one. 50. What's the fractal thingy of 50? Oh, it's that thing. Okay. That's weird. So again, I've got this memory game. The good thing about this memory game is it just runs on any native computer, any Windows computer. And as you can see, I've got like 2 pages here. So yeah, this is just like a basic demo thingy, what's it? But if I shut this down, you guys can see I can just run it directly from here. And I can obviously shove whatever I want on the page or add a shed load more pages or whatever. So I basically use this as like a basic program for running on Windows, which is pretty nice. And like I said, if I want 50 different windows or whatever and 50 different buttons, I can just do it. It's not an issue. Okay, here's a program I started working on. So this basically calculates the birth rate and death rate of the country. And again, I shouldn't imagine this is 100% accurate, but if I run the program, for example, let's have a little look what it does. So again, I didn't include all the variables in this, but based on current data, you can basically see what the population is going to be in the future of the country based on births and deaths. Based on how many years you sort of go. But again, this program isn't really accurate because births and deaths can obviously vary from year to year. So yeah, it's quite a limited program in some ways. But heck, I was having a go, you know. I mean, I don't know why I make all these programs. I think it's just fun. Now, a while ago, I did a program. In fact, I made a whole YouTube video. Basically, it's all AI generated Star Wars, based on code and stuff, based on ChatGPT at the time. So if you can hear this, basically ChatGPT made its own version of Star Wars theme, which is what you can hear now. Probably sounds awful, but anyway. I don't know, man. I do way too much like stupid nonsense. It's just so stupid. Oh, here's another lovely bless everyone. Here's another lovely program. Oops, what am I doing? Oh, okay. No, go back to here, yeah. It's another lovely program which calculates compound interest. So, the money we start off with is 100, changes to say 200. Yeah, is the interest rate. So 3% is pretty standard. N is the years. Actually, program isn't really working very correct because I don't think N is doing anything. Nope, let's take out N. There we go. And let's change this to years. Perfect. Change iterations down here. Under program, as you can see, if you start off with £200 with a 3% compound interest, obviously it goes to 6, 12, 18. So yeah, we get to £250 after 8 years with 3% interest. I think it's pretty neat. So you could do like 30 years. At 3% interest. So okay. With 3% compound interest, we're going to start off in year 0 with 200, is the first value, obviously, and yeah, we're going to double our money by, let's say, year 24. That's quite interesting. But yeah, it's going to continue to rise, obviously. We could do something crazy and go for 300 years. If you don't know what it is, basically Einstein said compound interest, to paraphrase, is one of the most powerful forces in the universe. And he is actually right, because every year you basically get your interest plus your interest. So, okay, if we're going to start off with £200, by year 30, we're up to £485. See, where are we at year 60? Wow. Year 60, £1,100. Good. Go for year 100. Wow, we're on 3,800. And to 50, let's say, yeah, 1,600 is 16,800. This is what I mean about compound interest. It's kind of insane. It builds up massively. And as you guys can see, the number's going up dramatically rapidly. So yeah, by year, say, I don't know, 220, we're up to 133,419. So yeah, we breached 2 grand, or 200,000 by yeah, whatever. Anyway, by the time we get to year 300, we are at £1.5 million. It's pretty freaking good. It just shows you the power of compound interest, basically. And this is just a 3%. Okay, let's put the value down to 50, and we'll go for a 5% interest rate. And yeah, you can see if we start with 200 at year 0, by the time 50 iterations have happened, we're 2,200. So yeah, significantly more than what we started with. Anyway, that's my program to calculate compound interest, which I kind of partly wrote, and I might have actually used some AIs as well. But yeah, nice program. Simple folder maker. So you can actually write, I believe it's an INI script, which makes folders, which is fairly simple. But I just made a Python program to make a bunch of folders. If I'm honest, I kind of hate making folders. So, you know, if I run the program, it would literally make folders with all of these names on, which I think is fine. Nothing special here. Just standard folder maker. I got so many programs. I started making a maze. Okay, so this is a maze, and I wanted to build a program that could basically solve the maze. So that's a horrible, horrible maze. Let me make a better maze. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, if I run this program, it basically says which spaces are free and which spaces are not free, and it outputs the data in a text file. So I was kind of thinking, yeah, I want to build a program that can actually solve mazes like this by kind of scanning it in, you know, basic computer vision stuff. But anyway, I didn't really get that far with the stuff. Oh, we've got another music player here. Huh. This one kind of plays like it plays that, whatever that is. Oh look, this program generates passwords. So yeah, pretty freaking simple. Randomly generates a string of 25 letters. So nothing interesting really. Just a strong password. Oh look, here we go. Program which makes funny shape. Ooh, look at that! It's made a funny shape. Oh look, this one makes funny waves and stuff. Weird. Again, kind of got like the program ChatGPT to make this for me. Pardon me, I don't know why. What are these websites? Oh yeah, look, it's made a funky wave picture on the website. What's this one? Oh yeah, this one spins around and around. This is cool. The other ones. What's website free? Yes, I actually have this on my website. In the spiral dance of life, echoes of our essence intertwine. So yeah, this is a cool thing we made, me and old ChatGPT. Kind of put a description in to make this thing, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So as you can kind of see, it's got intersecting waves, which are sort of randomly generated of different colours and whatever, going left to right. Got a few others, I think. Oh yeah, so I modified the code to basically going into a center point. You get the cool wavy bits at the end, which bit of fun, Oh, wow! This one's displaying a box, but I've on the box. Oh, wait, it isn't working. Boo! That sucks. Hey, I also made. Well, we also made this. I say we, me and the AIs, right? Look at this. This is actually hosted on my website. So you have the kind of internal framework, I should say. Don't know if it's affected by the mouse, probably. And then you've got the external sphere, right? And this is like obviously based on my web browser. And yeah. Oh, yeah, that was it. I think I actually asked Claude to make a graphic representation of what it's like to be an AI, and it made this, right? So I don't know what the heck it is, right? But I asked it to make it and it did. So yeah, it made this thing, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, okay. So okay, this video is totally awful, but yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, this is my website, by the way. I've got that effect at the top, like you can see, and it runs on my phone, so I think it pretty much runs anywhere. It runs on my dad's phone as well, so his phone isn't quite as recent. So yeah, I got my website. Again, made this in myself and ChatGPT and Claude made this. So yeah, got all the boring stuff I did. Oh, look, I love this, right? Click on my picture, you get little stars and little fruits and swirly things, right? None of you guys can see, but yeah. At the side here we have some lovely anchor links. Now, I actually got this to not display on the phone version because I don't think anybody's going to really use it. I used to have another menu on the other side, but it kind of... I got rid of it because I got bored of it, to be honest. It just, I don't know, took up too much screen time or whatever. Room. So yeah, I guess we can go through some of the cool stuff. Let's go through the artwork, because why not? Look, I made this in Focus, which is a local image generation program. And, you know, you're meant to have like all the different saints. So there's meant to be different stories from the Bible and philosophy and history. You know, you have old Sigmund Freud down here, maybe an Egyptian guy over here. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. Here's one I actually drew with my freaking mouse. Not bad picture, I suppose. I did this like 10 years ago, man. Most of these from like 10 years ago. So, look how awful that looks. I should probably take these down, do some... again, this is a Python program I made. Well, it was actually just me that made this, kind of based on Turtle, I believe. This one I kind of drew. It's quite nice, I guess. Brain, bunny, whatever's. Ooh, look, some squares. Again, drew this, put the colours in, it's a rainbow. Made this Mandela thing again in Graphic Designer. So I was kind of going for symmetry, whatever. These are some of the images I did in 3D, which seems like a long time ago. This was a whole 3D world I actually made, and I wish I still have the file, because I did make like a music video, which is somewhere on YouTube, but it's old as anything. But yeah, I made a whole little 3D world here in Unreal Engine, which was kind of fun. Bit of pixel art there. Ooh, that's something I kind of made in MS Paint, believe it or not, and kind of vectorized it to get this cool effect. But yeah, that's an MS Paint picture, and got a picture of me. Yay! little flowery things. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the most terrible video in the world. Anyway, look. Here's a little chat thingy I made. So I shoved a database in the computer, in its computer hole, and basically did a bit of programming. So now we have a little chat room for people to share like weird things on the internet. So I can actually go, hello. Let's post this. Did you hear that, guys? Freaking classic. Now, I don't want to play this for copyright reasons, but I actually got Winamp to, actually got a little thing that looked like Winamp and kind of built it. So, yeah, it's kind of fun, isn't it? And look, I've got some news stories from, like, the olden days. Look, I said, look, this crazy thing's just taken the internet by storm, dancing hamsters. There's a picture of old Billy Gates before he got all kind of creepy and weird, but yeah, it's from 1990X, so yeah, it's a bit of fun, I suppose. There's not much else on my website apart from the art and stuff. I mean, I've got a few videos on stuff on here as well. In my autobiography, you got some 2 videos about me. 22 facts about David William Beck. I think a friggin' AI generated that, for God's sake. Oh man, I'm so lazy. But on the other hand, I did build all this like junk. So I'm actually considering like doing something cool in the background of my website. But then again, there's not really very much background real estate. It'd be kind of cool to actually have like some verbs sort of written in HTML in the background here somewhere. Anyway. Oh, look at this junk. I was making like a video of Sonic or something, so I built all the bits and shoved them all together. I can't remember what I did with that. I don't know, man. Oh, look, more stupid code I made. So, look, it starts generating do. And it grows in complexity more and more and more and more. Kind of iterating over itself, making more complicated random pictures over time. It's pretty awful, I think. Oh well. Random. Weird. Oh, if you're wondering, here's the code apparently. God. Pretty simple code. For the junk pictures. Ugh, like 300 junky pictures of random things. I don't know. Probably hasn't got any artistic value, does it? No. Oh, look, here's a program, a really rudimentary program, that basically gives an AI a test, and it's random, but it kind of would help the AI decide whether or not it's alive. What does this one do? I had a look at it. Can't see. Oh yeah, I kind of asked ChatGPT to make me a program which kind of simulate 2 different brains running. It didn't do very well.